All right, welcome to the Awaken Beauty podcast. Your body is a neuromodular signaling system known as the endocannabinoid system. And science has discovered that the ECS is involved in various bodily and mental conditions. Because of this, the ECS is currently the subject of research everywhere. And the cannabis plant is a naturally occurring chemical that mimics the endocannabinoid system in the body. And studies share that these substances may be proving to be helpful in treating diseases and mental conditions. So your endocannabinoid system, the ECS, plays an important role in your central nervous system and how it creates synapses and plasticity in the brain. And there are three primary parts. So the endocannabinoids, the receptors in the nervous system and around your body that are in the endocannabinoid system create enzymes that help break down the endocannabinoids and cannabinoids. And the ECS and their receptors are found throughout the entire body, in the brain, the organs, the connective tissue, the glands, the immune cells. And in each tissue, the cannabinoid system performs different tasks. But the main goal is always this: it's homeostasis, equilibrium, and balance in your internal and external environment. So the ECS and the cannabinoids are also found in the intersection of the body's various systems for communication and coordination in the cells. So at the site of an injury, for just an example, the cannabinoids can be found to decrease the release of activating sensitizers for the injured tissue. And the nerve cell, to prevent the firing, it calms it down. It kind of comes in there and says, hey, let's break up the fight here. Let's calm this down. And it calms those synaptic messaging systems to slow down, to minimize the pain or the damage that has occurred in the injury. So the endocannabinoid system, with all of its complexity in the immune system and the nervous system and the body's organs, it's literally the bridge to the body and the mind. So when we're understanding the system, we can really start to see the mechanism that explains the state of consciousness and how it can promote health from disease. So in addition to the cellular homeostasis, CBD and the person's relationship with it, both environmentally, is also on the rise. And incredible to see new farmers out there getting their feet wet and really giving this up level to organic farms across the nation and across the world. So let's talk about the brain. When we're reformatting old patterns, it's essential to partly look at our environmental health, but studies also suggest that cannabidiol may prove useful to treating pain and mental health conditions. So here's how it interacts with the brain. So at least 60 biological active molecules are isolated in the cannabis plant. And CBD is just one of them, but it's the primary cannabinoid in the cannabis plant. And you've probably heard of the other one, which is THC, which produces the high with marijuana. So your brain has protein receptors all throughout that respond to the endocannabinoids. And when a person ingests cannabis and cannabinoids from the plant, they bind to these specific receptors, or in a similar way, they fit the lock and the key. Exactly how the receptors work within the brain is, and how it's all involved, is very different to each individual and their genetic makeup or their history, or sometimes the placebo effect. So according to research, CBD interacts with the brain in numerous beneficial ways. It reduces inflammation. So while inflammation itself is necessary for survival, overactive inflammatory responses is no good. So neuroinflammation plays a huge role in neurological conditions. And research has linked that inflammation ranges from depression to anxiety to Alzheimer's disease to memory issues to stroke and epilepsy. So this suggests that inflammation may be a key role in fatigue and brain fog as well. So preliminary studies also suggest that CBD in the body has a similar anti-inflammatory response. It reduces the inflammation in the brain and throughout the body. So it could really help alleviate all of these different neurological conditions known today. It also promotes healthy brain cells. So it's common to have a degree of memory or learning difficulties in age and as we age, but cognitive decline is on the rise. And for some, it's very, very dramatic. So currently, 50 million people are living with dementia globally, and that number is projected to nearly triple by 2050. So keeping your brain healthy is absolutely paramount. So while age-related cognitive decline is due to factors in the neurological system and genetics, it's partly due to a decrease in neuroplasticity and neurogenesis within your brain and brain synapses. So neuroplasticity is your brain's ability to change and create change and rewire together. It creates better learning. Neurogenesis is also the birth of new brain cells. And the same with the body allows when the CBD is taken, it increases the neurogenesis and neuroplasticity of the brain. And then there's antioxidants and oxidative damage. It's basically free radicals, and it's an important reason why we age much faster. And so whenever you eat or breathe or sleep, you're making free radicals all the time, but excess due to stress or pollution, emotional health, it increases the production. So this free radical damage is really important to get under control. And CBD helps as a neuroprotectant, as an antioxidant to the brain. It's comparable to vitamin C or vitamin E. So the neurotransmitters are the chemical messengers that your brain uses to communicate. And these chemicals relay on signals between the nerve cells to move information from one part of your brain and the body to another. So if these neurotransmitters tell the heart to beat or the lungs to breathe and the stomach to digest, it's very important. And they also affect the way we sleep, our mood, and it can also have adverse, effects on our stress. And as well as pharmaceuticals, they can be an output to our optimal range. So in animal studies, CBD was actually found to increase the levels of neurotransmitters and serotonin glutamate in depressed mice. So the prefrontal cortex controls this executive function where we rely on our serotonin. And glutamate is a powerful excitatory, it gets us motivated. It's the motivating neurotransmitter. And it plays a really, really important role in learning and memory. And then next is anticonvulsant. So the most research-backed benefits of CBD for those with epilepsy, this neurological condition is characterized by having frequent seizures. And CBD has been proven to reduce seizures. And this has hands down shaken up the epileptic community because scientists, they haven't really quite figured out the mechanics of how exactly it helps, but a lot of researchers suggest that it has something to do with how it interacts with the glutamate receptors in the brain. So it was also found that CBD can antagonize CB1 receptors, which also can reduce seizure frequency. So to supplement it for neurological health is really key. CBD is the fastest growing supplement in the United States. I'm sure you already understand that and know that, but it can be so beneficial for neurological effects. And people around the world are using it to help them with anxiety and depression and brain fog and more. I know for my clients, it's certainly an antidote to stress, anxiety, and sleep. So we need additional human clinical studies, and I'm hopeful that the research funding will continue to uprise now that the market is certainly competitive. And there's so many various conditions that CBD can really help with, but when we really get down to it, a working brain, a working memory, our mood health, our capability to have motivation to learn is really, really critical. And CBD as a neuromodulator for the entire system, but specifically as an anti-inflammatory for the brain, is incredible. And if we can exchange this for the pharmaceutical world and the medication world, there are people, and I can't make any claims, but many clients being able to reduce their sleeping medications. Our new CBN product is a 500 milligram CBN with sedating terpenes that work really well together. Now, there's no other CBN product on the market that I've seen this high, and it's also, basically equivalent to diazepam, which is a sleep drug. And just being on a supplement like CBD for the brain, whether it's a full spectrum or, I don't really necessarily like isolate, but if you can get on some kind of form of CBD and take it daily, I believe it can be used as a preventative care product and not something that's just we're going to do a quick hit when we have anxiety or we can't sleep at night. Because if we really understand the endocannabinoid system, the deficiency in the endocannabinoid system, which we call an endocannabinoid system deficiency, is actually the root, I believe, of immune disorders, brain disorders, neurological disorders, what we just talked about here today. And it's various and multi-complex way. So if we can bring the anti-inflammatories into the body, address the body so that it can get back to homeostasis, free it up to be able to heal, that is the best bet. Now, there's another way that we can receive the benefits of cannabinoids, and that's through frequency. And I also am able to, I have an imprint plate, so energetically, I bring in our CBD products and all the different cannabinoids, and I imprint them into my biofeedback program. So I'm able to give the frequency, healing frequency of the energetics of this beautiful plant, which are super powerful, especially when you do them both together. So the world is endless when it comes to formulating how to use CBD. Quality is important. Obviously, ask for a COA, and you always want to ask how much active cannabidiol is actually in the product. So if it just says hemp extract, 300 milligrams, or it has hemp extract in a 1,000 milligram bottle and it says 33 milligrams of hemp extract per milliliter, you really don't know what you're getting. Hemp extract could be a number of things because the cannabinoids are bred for the cannabis plant. So it's kind of dump and pray and spray, and you don't exactly know what's in there. So make sure you find a formulator that actively puts how much cannabinoid is in each bottle, what kind of terpenes are in there, so that you can have consistency to your experience and actually get better results. So if you have any questions, let me know. And if you want to shop our Evoke Beauty Health inner and outer topicals and internal tinctures and tonics, then please go to evokebeauty.com, evoqbeauty.com. I'd be happy to answer any questions. That's it for now. The brain is super important. It's critical that we take care of our neurological health, and the tests and the studies that have verified from epilepsy to brain dementia to just everyday brain fog because we're so stressed out. It works. So that's it for now. Thanks for joining me on the Awaken Beauty podcast. Love and light. Bye-bye now.